So, Robin, what's one word to describe the upcoming energies of moving from the wood snake to the fire horse?
Wow. It's like going from sound asleep and curled up into full blown gallop. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's definitely starting to pick up momentum already. And people will probably be finding themselves, waking up suddenly, effectively, becoming more open and more aware of possibilities as opposed to, just staying in the normal process of life. And I've seen that already going on in the normal level with patients in the clinic and just observation in where society's at and so forth. Yeah, it's quite interesting how that energy, and I interpret it from many levels, but the interpretation from the Chinese astrology versus, just what's going on in the media versus what you hear about with spiritual movements and astrology, they all seem to be just interpretations of the same thing. So it's really quite an exciting time in my mind. I'm a very strong fire sign, so that's the energy of the horse, as opposed to a sleepy old snake curled up in for winter. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I know for myself, being a Leo, that I'm feeling it too.
yeah. We're both Leos. Yeah,
Yeah,
we fire up, if that makes sense.
absolutely. And I'm filled with chills as we talk about this. And I've been feeling this coming for a while now. And like you're saying, Robin, I mean, it's everywhere, right? And so I did a little research and I went back to, I recognized that the Chinese symbols, because of how many there are and the four different types of, earth, wind, water, and I guess there are actually five with ether, right?
The five elements. Yeah,
The five
we're taking
elements.
the five elements: fire, earth, metal, water, and wood.
And that they come around every 60 years. So the last time this specific one, the fire horse, was on the here on the planet, was 1966 and 67, and there was a cultural revolution in China, and also the birth rate in Japan was dropped because they didn't think they should bring in babies, which is quite interesting. And then 1906 and 1907, the San Francisco earthquake happened during
Oh
that
wow!
time.
Yeah,
So there were some things around rapid changes, bold actions, independence. So it's quite interesting, the dynamics of those two things. And there were other things too that were, but those were the main things that I was like, wow, some big cultural, things happened during those times.
yeah. As I said, there's no such thing as coincidence, and
No.
this year I think is going to be a very exciting year from the point of view of possibly things go wrong on the planet as regards earthquakes. Um, I can see a lot of changes going on from a Western point of view, the Western politics in United States and Australia, but also China's just an amazing country right now. It's
Mhm.
just opening up, which is sort of fits back with the last time the cycle activated. And I would say
Mhm.
that the Chinese nation is very much in alignment with the Chinese astrology because it's written into the folklore. It's written into everything. Their
Right.
celebration of Chinese New Year is February the 17th or mid-February, and so that's all opening up, and it's a major holidays, and everybody celebrates. So here in the West, we do celebrate, but not to the degree that they do in China, obviously. Um, yeah, it's quite an interesting time from that point of view. And the energy, from a feng shui point of view, the energy started to open up in October, or September, October, which is the spiritual new year. And
Mhm.
so that changing of the tide from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere is the defining lines. That's why in the northern hemisphere it's mid-February, but to a great degree for everybody else, it's springtime here in Australia, the southern hemisphere.
Mhm.
So a feng shui master or teacher of mine that actually he explained that when he came to live in Australia, he actually was really confused about the energy difference because of the different climate versus the season in the northern part of
Mhm.
the globe. And one day he was walking along the riverbed, and he suddenly had the epiphany that the lunar calendar was different in relationship to the southern hemisphere. So he did a whole lot of calculations, and so a lot of the Chinese astrology in the southern hemisphere is not actually totally 100% correct if they're using the formulas of the northern hemisphere. And he's still around. He got into a lot of trouble from the old masters because he started to change it based on the north and the south, the southern hemispheres. And you can imagine that back in ancient times, there was very little travel to the southern hemisphere from China back then when all the classics were written, you know. Right. So, yeah, it's quite interesting dynamics, yeah.
And so for yourself, you know, I know you came on several months ago, and actually your episode with you and the cancer and you know, your healing and all that you went through, that was actually the number one viewed video of 2025 for this podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, so, you know, just want to kind of touch up with that, with, you know, like where you're at and how you see like what you've been through in the last year and how it's moving into the new energies.
Yeah, no, everything's really good with me at this point in time still. And I stick with my protocol consistently. I don't change it. It's a way of life now for me. Mm-hmm. But the year has been, the last year was all about how I went from being very new in the game of cancer coaching. So it's like a newborn trainee and learning from experience. And last year really did teach me a lot about dealing with people's types of emotional patterns and so forth in relationship to them developing cancer. And I mean it. I've had a couple of people that are really tough to crack. I'm serious, really, really tough to crack. And that they have given me a greater insight into how to work with people of all levels. It doesn't matter where their personality is. It's really quite interesting that as long as I appeal to them and actually I help them understand that they're not alone in this game called cancer, you know, we've been successful. Unfortunately, and I will say this, gentleman that I work with weekly, he didn't join my coaching as a formalized version. He just said, every week I'll talk to you. And so then he'd ring me and say, yeah, we're going to talk today. And we did that from August right through to November. And I spent 3 hours with him on the last session that I had with him. And 2 days later, he passed away. And I tell you what, that was really quite an interesting experience for me as a cancer coach. I had to deal with that myself. I had to process that myself, and you know, be there for him in the last moments of his life. And so, the cancer coach is to obviously the intent is to help them get to remission and no evidence of disease. But I mean, I'm finding that I'm helping a person in their last moments of living and transition, and so. I mean, I understand, you know, that the work of spirit, you know, doing spiritual work. And so it's really quite amazing how I'm learning all about the living and dying process. That's really, it's all the same. And then that I can't be responsible for anybody. And I'm there for them to the last moment, you know. It was tough at the time because I really did like this gentleman. He was, you know, you gain a connection with them. And he didn't want to pass, and that was what he said. He didn't want to pass, and so he has, you know, he passed. Another gentleman, and I don't know where he's at because I haven't been able to make contact with him, but he told me that nurses and the medical profession, he's only got days to live, and that was really tough for me as well. Anyway, I sent him the old video of Man in the Universe, and 4 days later, he rang me, and his voice was really strong, and he was moving forward suddenly, and so I helped him see that the living and the death process is one of the same. and that then you have an intent and a choice to be on that edge between being in the physical world and being in the inner world. And that's what he was struggling with the whole time, because it was all about the outer world. And we all tread that fine line. We're in that place of being, when we're in that place of just oneness. Nothing is future, nothing is past. We're in that moment between the inner and the outer world at the same time. And so that's where the living process is. That's where I choose to be, and that's where I found that part within myself in my journey through cancer. And I hope to help others find that place, that fine line between the pleasure and the pain of our beingness. Yeah.
You have set your foundation and are awake spiritually, but the day-to-day grind is still a challenge. To support this moment in time is the monthly Reawaken membership. This monthly membership offers you a deeper dive into what you're feeling energetically and ways to gain more insights and awarenesses on how you move through it all. For pennies a day, you'll receive the Wayshores philosophy and a compact home study course of the month created by the Wayshores College. A bonus of this service is a monthly live regrouping with TNT SpiritWorks, offered in 2 time zones. So no matter where you are reawakening in the world, you can join real people online and regroup what is going on for yourself. This can create more inner stability, peace, feeling grounded, and awareness from within that you are not alone moving through your journey. Check out the link in the show notes to start reawakening on a deeper level today.
Yeah.
How
So that's what
interesting
I've learned
that.
so far in this first 12 months of coaching people. And hopefully it will just get more and more. And I mean, I'm a person of mastery, and so I guess I'm starting to master that element a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, and then as you master, and as any of us master things, and we find people resonate with us because we've been through
Yeah.
something. Or I find it interesting that those 2 people and others came to you last year during that wood snake year, that year of shedding, right?
Mm.
And unfortunately
Yeah.
for them, it was their shedding of the physical. Well, for the one.
Well, in the physical sense, well, at least one of them. Yeah. I don't know about the other one right now.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm hoping to have the other one, the gentleman. I'm hoping that he's just getting himself sorted out with his changes in hospitals, and that his energy's picking up the energy of the horse. I told him, don't go yet, because the new energy is opening up, and you have an opportunity to depart. Yes, absolutely. The energy is closing down and shutting down to start up again. And so hang in there, because as the energy of the fire horse moves in, then I'm sure the life force energy is going to come back to him on another level altogether, because everything is just frequency and vibration, you see. And that's the
Right.
exciting thing about understanding about, I mean, my foundation is with acupuncture, and that gives you a sense of energy and movement and the dynamics of change, and getting the subconscious ego out of the way so that the energy can just flow naturally. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so like you started the conversation saying how we're noticing it out in the world, and it's so interesting for myself. I really recognize how many people are having problem with truths, like really grasping what truth is for them, their beliefs, their concepts, and I think that's a big part of, like you're saying, like the shedding thing, and but that realization of, oh my God, what is the truth that I thought was the truth in my previous beliefs and concepts?
Yeah. All things have truth, but no one thing has all the truth. And I've always said that, this is what I believe today, but I don't know what it's going to be tomorrow, because things can change as we evolve, or as I evolve. And starting cancer coaching over, a good 12 months ago, and then now have worked with a number of people all the way through. I've had one gentleman that's actually got clear. He's 100% clear. Yeah, there's no evidence of disease with him, and they're not doing any major scans anymore. They just do bloods on him just as a maintenance program.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, just had to have one human being go from where they were to where they are now. Yeah, made my job really, really satisfying. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, because you personally know what it's like to go from, oh my God, I'm at the end, to holy cow, I'm actually living. and really
Yeah.
living, right, Robin?
Uh, yeah, that's it. That's it. That's right on that edge is the living process. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
And not fearing is the key. Living is really direct opposite to not fearing anymore, and trusting the inner desires to follow through on the inner desires of the inner guidance, the inner direction in life. You know, when my daughter, she's 19 now, when Xian was about 2 or 3, we had an advertisement in Australia called it was a Telstra, which is the phone company here,
Hmm.
and it was a little boy in the back seat of a car, and he's saying to his father, "Hey, Dad, why did they build the Great Wall of China?" And the gentleman, as a true blue Aussie, was like, "Oh," and he says, "To keep the rabbits out." And that advertisement, I do believe, and I've done some research just recently, went and made that internet connection, Big Pond, really quite successful. Won a lot of awards. Anyway, so back when Xian was little, I used to joke with her, "Hey Xian, why'd they build the Great Wall of China?" And then she'd say, "To keep the rabbits out." And back then I set the goal that I'd love to stand on the Great Wall of China with Xian one day.
Hmm.
Well, I've just completed the task to her and I are going to hike on the Great Wall of China for a full day, and then we're going to camp in one of those stations and then hike for
Wow.
the rest of the next day. So it's 2 days on the Great Wall of China. And one night we're going to sleep in one of those stations where hundreds of millions of souls passed away in
That should be
in
pretty
in
amazing.
battle, in building the wall, and apparently it's pitch black at night. You can just see the stars. There's no artificial lights, and I had to take it 2 or 3 days to decide that I wanted to do it even. And I've got myself organised now, and I'm feeling more confident about doing it with her. Um, I dare say that there's going to be greater opportunity for me to help work with souls that may be hanging around there that we know about, and how we can work with helping them transition. Yeah, I dare say that. So anyway, yeah.
So you
So
might
we
be busy
spent
that night.
29
Is that
days in China. Yeah, that's a
29
part.
days?
That's the first
Wow.
3 days of China, and then we're going all over the place. We're going to the city called Xi'an, which is where Xi'an's name came from, except we changed it to
Oh.
Zian. It's Xian, where the terracotta warriors are. And every
Oh.
time I tune into the terracotta warriors, I feel many, many lifetimes of connection there. And I really honestly feel Xi'an's very definitely connected to the terracotta warriors. So that's another symbolic part of the journey. Again, the galloping horse shedding the past, and I'm moving with it because I picked that up late last year. That was something that was really important for me to do, and to take Xian, my daughter. Yeah.
Wow, that is going to be some experience, and especially you might be busy that night, though, right? Clearing, cleansing, and
Yeah, I've already had some insight that it's one of the reasons why I'm going. Yeah,
Mhm.
to do my little bit to help the energy flow. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's
Wow,
being
that's
of service,
amazing.
isn't it? That's us people that know the connection with our spiritual pathway, our spiritual destination, and we've done the training to be able to help. From both levels, the living side and the past side. The limbo side. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. I know Tom and I, we've traveled around the world too, and we've had many times where we've come into connection with
yeah.
spirits that are ready to go and need some support. So that's a big deal. And I've talked to many other people too that have been to places like Civil War sites and other big areas where there's lots of souls stuck and they don't know what to do. And so they just get a sense of, and they feel weird, or they freak out because something is influencing their energy field. So it is good to have that knowledge, that awareness of how to work with helping move to the other side.
Yeah. And your program sort of supports that whole concept. There are a lot of people out there that still don't believe in that, but I think that subject's starting to become more open now. Here we are in 2025, 26, it's much more open than it was back in 1988 when I sort of started looking into it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So as far as the new year ahead and the boldness of what's coming, any other insights that you have that you want to share about, what the shifts are going to kind of feel like for people energetically?
Well, I mean, the direct opposite to not taking the energy and running with it is procrastination and indecision and
Hmm.
sitting on stuck knowledge. And I think that's the opposite effects of growth will occur, which is where people will implode rather than expand. So that you have the duality of the universe, the duality of the human condition going on at any given moment, which is the yin and the yang. And so if you're not expanding with the energy, then you're imploding or you're holding on to and getting caught up. And so that has some sort of direct influence on the physical body, the way I look at it. I mean, it might start with situations in the household, starting, suddenly your fridge and your phone and your car break down in the same week, and you might just think, oh, that's bad luck. But to me, it's a direct mirror of the person's energy and what's going on. And so, you know, if it happens once, then open your eyes. If it happens twice and three times, then definitely do something about it, because you're getting a nudge. You're getting insight into you need to make some changes. And I think that's the most important part, is to tap into your awareness and wake up to the idea that you need to be changing course a little bit or adjusting whatever's going on. You know, um, yeah. otherwise, otherwise, sooner or later, the lessons are going to come thick and thin. Yeah.
You have set your foundation and are awake spiritually, but the day-to-day grind is still a challenge. To support this moment in time is the monthly Reawaken membership. This monthly membership offers you a deeper dive into what you're feeling energetically and ways to gain more insights and awarenesses on how you move through it all. For pennies a day, you'll receive the Wayshores philosophy and a compact home study course of the month created by the Wayshores College. A bonus that is serviced is a monthly live regrouping with TNT SpiritWorks, offered in 2 time zones. So no matter where you are reawakening in the world, you can join real people online and regroup what is going on for yourself. This can create more inner stability, peace, feeling grounded, and awareness from within that you are not alone moving through your journey. Check out the link in the show notes to start reawakening on a deeper level today.
But having said that,
Absolutely.
the opposite side of that, and I'd rather stay on the positive side, because the
Mhm.
positive side is much more fun. The opposite of that is life experiences and growth and movement and action and expansion at the same time. So that's all available to anybody at any given moment, depending on how they choose to run with it and what level of organization they have. Because it's all about where there's no free lunches in the universe type thing. So yeah, if a person's built a set level of foundation, then they've got the capacity to expand easier. And the way I look at it, it's not about the money. It's not about how much you've got in the bank. It's about how much you're organized spiritually, and then sooner or later the money shows up, and that works out. Everything works out.
Totally agree.
Because money is just purely an energy exchange. It's a part of the journey. Yeah.
Part of this realm we're playing in, but the real aspect is how are you working with the spiritual part of yourself and that energy aspect for sure.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
how I see it anyway. I'm sure you see it the same way.
absolutely. And if I don't see it, Robin, it shows up every day.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Between the patients you're seeing and life and even like the media stuff, and yeah, it's everywhere. So but it's good to connect with you, Robin, and to get to your energy and share a bit about this the shift that's coming, which we've already been really feeling, like you're saying, October, and it probably was around that time, the spiritual new year, when I was starting to feel like, okay, it's soon to be
Yeah.
on.
Well, to me, it was like the invitations are out, and we've only got a countdown now, another 15 or 14 days to go. and it's feeling stronger and stronger. And,
Mm-hmm.
and today is a very symbolic time for me, just sharing with you the energy. And so yes, be patient. I do believe those who are ready is to be patient, because it's like being dressed up ready for the party, but it's not for 2 weeks type thing. But it's not going to happen in a major burst. It's going to happen
Right.
steadily. And every day you wake up, there'll be a slow transition, and you get ideas about what to do. And so, if you're prepared, obviously, everything will flow really smoothly. Yeah. A horse doesn't just sort of wander in the paddock and then suddenly gallop. I mean, he can if he gets a fright and then catch
Mm-hmm.
up. But generally, he trots along and then he canters and then he gallops if you're riding a horse. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the horse energy. And then the horse will slow down again and have movement. But there's effectively over the whole year, there's movement, there's energy, there's transitional stuff that's going on. Yeah. And if it's happening to you individually, then go with it. Don't resist it, because on many levels you've created it. On every level you've created it. So you can't deny that truth. Really, when we're talking about truth, you've created everything. Even people with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that last time about it's an exit plan. Yeah, it's a self-creation process, that's for sure, and then it's a self-turning it around process.
Mm-hmm.
With a few files deleted at the same time to turn it around totally. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I will definitely have that episode down below in the show notes so anyone can find it and go back, because it was a really powerful one. And I think it was I think it went so well and so many people viewed it because so many people are connected these days to someone that's had cancer, they've had it themselves, or there's just so much, like, okay, I need to know about this, that area.
Yeah, well, as I've always said, it is a scary word, that big C word.
Mm-hmm.
And most people, I mean, I'm 9.9% of the people that I talk to about, when that word comes up, there's always a look of fear or knowing that they've lost somebody with it. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so that's, it's that look of fear is interesting, because is it because they know that's their escape route at the same time as not really wanting it?
Right.
Because fear is really effectively an emotional pattern that is locked in. And so, I think I just saw something that I wasn't aware of to that degree. It's like, I've set up an exit plan, and I'm not telling anybody, but you brought up the word, and now it's made me think, do you know more about me than I'm letting on? I'm not so invisible anymore. I can't hide behind this thing that I've set up.
Right.
And I mean, I lost one client last year who, after about 3 hours of talking to her, a number of sessions, she hit a major pattern of not being able to tell anybody that she had cancer, especially in her family, especially her children. And one of her daughters was finishing school, and she didn't want to tell her anything, because obviously she'd be stressed and she probably would have failed her exams, which is fair enough. She was a very caring mother, and I don't take that away from her at all. And I said, I really do think we've got to be more transparent with our disease structures, because to some degree, it's not anybody's business to know exactly your health, but the way you're doing it is blocking the process inside somewhere. I'm not saying go out and tell your daughter or your children straight away, but we got to find that part of you that's not being transparent.
Right.
That's like, I ate the biscuits, but I'm not telling anybody. So, but my mouth's full of it's obvious I've been eating biscuit, eating the chocolate. Yeah. And so 3 days later, she paid me everything, and I don't give refunds in my coaching, because I know that people are going to balk and escape from their patterns are going to catch them, and make them run away. Anyway, she cancelled. She said, "I don't want to do it anymore." And the energy on the pain that she experienced about not going forward was too great. And I have to accept that. because that's a person's free will, and I have to accept that. That's just as painful as losing somebody, because it's like, what did I do that made that happen? You know. So it's an interesting dynamic. That gives you a clue of the different paradigms that I'm working with people. You know, I mean, money's not the issue at the end of the day. Obviously, it wasn't for this woman. You know, she didn't care. Yeah, she's like, I can't go forward anymore because I think that's going to get exposed. And once it's exposed, then I don't know how I can live with myself. You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really different strokes for everybody. It's really so different. I mean, I'm not judging her. I'm just saying that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, free will. Everyone's got the choice, right?
Well, that's the thing that our training is all about. It's like, I respect people's free will, you know? Yeah.
It's just a little challenging when you go, God, knowing that what you can support, right, Robin?
Yeah, it's like, did I say the wrong thing? And I really did take some time to regroup that. But what I got was, if I didn't approach it then, it would have been a long, drawn out, dragged out process that probably wouldn't have been as successful anyway. So that's like being of service rather than a servant, and you can't cater to anybody. So, you know, when people come to me, they've always said that you're very direct. And I go, well, you're paying me to be honest to you and be truthful, you know. All things have truth, but no one thing has all the truth. Well, I've had 44 years of training. I see things really clearly now because of all that experience that I have. And most people have life experiences, you know, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Robin, this has been fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what transpires this year and what happens, and we'll have to keep touch and you know, kind of touch base and say, hey, what's going on your side of the world, because we're on obviously different sides of the planet. So it'd be really interesting to see how, you know, how things kind of move forward in the either a gallop or and with that fire energy, you know.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that you know, you guys are a day behind us, and so you can actually get insights by looking at what's going on in Australia to a great degree.
Yes.
And then we get insights by the different seasons and so forth, because it's different, you know. So I watch a lot when you guys are going through winter. What's the different fashions and the way people are talking based on the cold, because that's another energy in itself is coming for us. You see, it's a few months away. So yeah, if you open your eyes to that possibility, you will see the answers of life everywhere you look. You know, it's all available on media now, so we can see, you know, we can see anything at any given time. Like I've done predictions on what the weather will be on the night that we camp on the Great Wall of China. You know, just with the use of technology. Yeah, so
that's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Robin, for coming on again, and have so much fun on your trip to China. My God, that's going to be amazing. What month is that?
We fly out from Australia on March the 17th and don't come back till April the 15th. Yeah, so we move straight through that. It's springtime, and it's, you know, on the Great Wall of China, it's going to be 0 degrees in the evening and 5 to 15 during the day. So it's still very cold. I mean, we're coming from summer too, by the way. So it's straight into it. I mean, we're going to spend 24 hours acclimatizing in Beijing first of all before we go on the trip. Just to try and you know, balance our bodies out. And I'm going to be starting training today. I'm going to go back to altitude training and start training again, because I really want to get my body a little bit stronger for the walks on it, and plus the acclimatization, you know.
Right. We'll have a blast at that. And like I said, we'll just keep tabs on this year. But I appreciate you coming on so much and sharing today, Robin.
Much appreciated, Teresa. Yeah, we'll do it again soon.
Absolutely. You give me a call. I'm like, hello. Yes, Robin, we'll get you back on here. So thank you all for listening into another episode of Enthusiastically Spiritual. Again, check down below for the link for the first time that Robin came on several months back in 2025. And it's a really great inspirational episode. So I'll have that down below. And until next time, just remember that life is too short to not be enthusiastic about your unique journey. To keep the enthusiasm going, please like, subscribe, or comment below. We would love to hear from you.